Hey there, this is a quick video to walk through how to use the Fulcrum app for a housing survey if you're doing community housing assessment. The Fulcrum app is free to download, and you should have gotten instructions for how to install it and how to log in to your community's account. And the way we've set this up is we've preloaded records for all the parcels, housing parcels in your study area. And you'll see those listed here as red dots. And so you'll need to figure out where you are and go through and try to locate them. So this is the city of Osceola that we're just using as a reference. Let's just say we want to click on this property right here. You'll see the listed address. If we click on it here, you'll pull up the form for this property, and you'll see it gives an address. If that address is incorrect or missing, you should add it. It'll ask you to add your name up here, so you can type name. If you wanted to do that. Are you making multiple entries for this property? This is a whether or not there's multiple structures that you're going to be looking at, and we'll talk more about that in a second. And then there's a list here of questions about the structure that you're looking at. So is this a single family, multifamily property? What kind of, is it occupied or unoccupied from what you can tell? Viewing it from the street, how many stories does it have? And then going through from foundation to roof, what are the conditions, right? So if I choose cracked foundation, if we say it needs some repainting, windows and doors need repainting, the stairs, rails, steps, and porches are actually in good shape, and then the roofing has some bad gutters, right? And we choose this. And some of these allow for multi-select, so you can actually see you can do multiple entries there, and then it'll give you a score. So this housing condition thing is automatically calculated, and you'll see the numbers for each. For the foundation, it's 5. Exterior surfaces, it's 3. Windows and doors, it's 3, and that adds up to 11. It also asks you to assess the lot, so the actual parcel space aside from the structure, and you'll see there's some options there. You can type some other comments, and then there's ways to take a picture. If you click on the camera, it'll allow you to take a photo right in the app. Right, and that's all you do. When you're done, this is important, there's this status not completed on the top. If you click on that, you can choose it to completed, and that will allow you to see on the map that pin will turn from red to green. And we're not going to do that right now because we want to make sure this record doesn't get compromised. But that's the idea here, is that when it's done, you click to green, and we'll just cancel this out. And this pin will change from a red pin to a green pin. So you can see that that property has been addressed. Now, the last thing, there will be some cases where there's multiple structures you want to evaluate. This is a little more complicated. So what you need to do is identify what is the property that you're looking at. So let's move over here, and let's say we're looking at 401 Henderson Street. You might need the parcel number. So there's a parcel number listed here, OC 1200N0005. If we go back to our main, hold on. Go ahead and discard this. Go back to our main screen. You see down here in the lower left, there is a list view. And then here, we would look for that property. So I've already forgotten what that is. It was something Henderson, I believe 415. So I could look for that. So I'm searching 415. Yeah, let's just say it was 400 for the sake of argument. Now, it's a little bit different if you're using an iOS device. The way that you would duplicate, which is what you want to do, duplicate this record, is to swipe left and then click on more, and you'll see there's a duplicate there, and then you can do a duplicate record and choose that one. So what I would recommend is that you start by doing one record, then duplicate it and do the second one. In both of them, you can mark that you did them, that there's multiple structures on the property. On the survey itself, you'll see there is this question, are you making multiple entries for this property? And you would choose yes. There may also be a chance for you to say, is this building 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., so that we can differentiate them if it says yes. You go ahead and duplicate that property and then enter the second record for the second property there. So it's a little more complicated, but again, the process is not that difficult. So you would go back and click on the property, swipe left. If it's on an Android device, you would just press and hold, and that would give you the same more menu, duplicate, and then add data for that second property on there. So that's a quick run through of how to use the Fulcrum app to add data. The one other thing that I will mention here is that when you're done, you would want to make sure that you go back to, let's go ahead and go back to the map view. I'll get rid of the search bar here. You click this little sync button here, and that will make sure that you sync your data. You'll need to have Wi-Fi or some kind of internet access for that to work. It will store the records on your device, but they won't upload to the server unless you sync it. So that's it. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions, but it's a pretty straightforward process.